more and more open source consoles that have been coming out lately. And while I'm still waiting for my Pandora, I ordered that thing 2 years ago. If you don't know what the Pandora is, Google is your bestest friend in the whole wide world. But in the meantime, this one is currently the newest one. This is meant to replace the GP2X Wiz that I reviewed. This is called the Caanoo. I figured that's how you pronounce it. I've been seeing them pronounce it in the online videos. It's the Extreme Network Game Console. Network because you can apparently buy a USB card to put in its USB port and give it Wi-Fi capabilities and play with people online, I think, or play with people locally, like two canoes that are near each other. I haven't purchased one because I don't feel like it, and I don't know anybody else who has a canoe. So, yeah. Nobody I know has probably ever even heard of this thing. Register Caanoo and get free game at, let's see here. You can ever enjoy. Come on, I'll do your English translations for you. Available for network games through Wi-Fi. Anyone can download various games and apps at FunGP. I don't know, I've tried browsing their website, and I, for the life of me, can't figure out how to navigate the site. It's too confusing, I just stopped. So it's a touchscreen like the Wiz. The touchscreen is improved. It doesn't have that issue on the left side, really, anymore. Same resolution screen, but it is a little bit bigger diagonally. Wi-Fi ready, mic, gyro sensor, and yeah, Linux powered. Comes with all that stuff there. I'll be honest, I didn't spend too much time browsing the homebrew category of games, but I couldn't find any that used the gyro sensor. Or maybe there were ones, and they were ones I just weren't interested in or didn't look that fun. Because they just recently released a new version of the software development kit, and it kind of looks like it's just now starting to support the gyro sensor thing, so that's kind of new to the developers, I believe. Let's go ahead and open this up here. So what do we get in the box? Our USB cable with our proprietary jack. The Caanoo, but we'll come back to that. What else is in here? There's the plastic from when I opened stuff. There's a wrist strap in there somewhere. Plastic. Spare stylus, which is good. That is a nice touch. Yeah, there we go. There's the wrist strap. It says Caanoo on it. The strap is as thin as the old Wii strap, so I wouldn't trust my Caanoo with it personally. Especially because this thing costs $150, about the same price as the Wiz, depending on where you look on the internet. Let's get that out of the way. Shove the proprietary cable back in the box. And here's the Caanoo itself, and there's my reflection. That's fantastic. So, they did away with the D-pad. They now have a joystick, which is not too bad, actually. The center of it is a little recessed. It's got a little bit of a grip to it. It's rubber. The center presses down, which also acts as a button. That button can be difficult to press if the joystick is not perfectly centered. I mean, I'm not saying on like a DualShock controller you could press down anywhere on the joystick, but a DualShock controller is a lot more leeway. You don't have to be dead in the center to get the button to work correctly. A 1-button, a 2-button, home button, and their unique button layout. There's the microphone, shoulder buttons, autofocus. There we go. Volume slider, which, I don't know, it's an improvement over the buttons that the Wiz had on the bottom, I think. But the problem is with the slider, it's totally software-based, and it can take a while. Like, for example, if you just turned on your Wiz, and it's, look at that, I called it the Wiz. If you just turned on your Caanoo, and you had it on full volume, and you're trying to be like quiet about having the Caanoo on, and it just started playing something really loud, and your first reaction is to go like, oh crap, and then you turn it all the way down really fast. It takes about 2 or 3 seconds for the volume to totally go all the way down. So that's kind of a disappointment. SD card slot. SDHC compatible, obviously. I got a 4 gig card in there right now. Oh. Yeah, it's USB port. So it has a USB port for the Wi-Fi stick and probably other things in the future. For the fun of it, I know someone will probably mention this in the comments, I tried connecting the USB cable from the port to the charging jack. It didn't do anything. I don't know. That's that's what my attention span likes to do when it's bored. There's the port for the proprietary charger, right in there. The autofocus is like, screw that. And, yeah. So let's, rapid fire size comparisons so you can get an idea of the size of this in real life. Xbox 360 controller. PSP 3000. And a turtle made out of clay. So now you have a good idea of the size of the Caanoo. And it's pretty, it feels very first party, actually. It doesn't feel cheap at all. Small rubber grips on the back. Oh, there's the speakers. And it's funny, I thought the speakers would, well, your fingers holding the Caanoo would be in the way of the speakers, but no, your fingers do avoid them pretty well. Yeah, it's got a pretty decent weight to it. It's not too heavy or too light, so it feels like you got your $150 worth in terms of build quality. It boots up a lot faster than the Wiz did too. It's the same idea as the Wiz and the PSP, where the top position is like a hold, and you press it down, that boots it up. Much faster boot up time than the Wiz. It'll show that like 3 times, and then menu. So totally new menu design. Icon shows you have an SD card in there. Battery, yeah. Battery life is pretty good. I left the Sega Genesis emulator running for 4.5 hours with a full charge before it finally died. So, a little bit more than the PSP at full brightness. So, it's okay. I was going to show this. Oh, that's right, settings are down here. I do that every time I'm looking for the settings. It also has haptic feedback, but again, I've yet to find a game that uses the haptic feedback, for that matter. Like I said, the touchscreen is improved. Stylus is in the compartment over here. Language brightness, blah, blah, blah. And you can actually mount USB drives in the Caanoo. And I tried it out. I put a 4 GB flash drive in there, and it recognized it as 4 GB worth of storage, which is pretty cool. I'm assuming somebody will probably crack this and put like a full-on version of Linux in here, and, you know, 4 gig USB flash drive, work something from there. Wireless, you can turn it on or off. Obviously, you need the stick to do that. Get out of there. So I don't have any apps or actually, I didn't really find any apps. I was only looking at the games, to be honest with you. Ebooks, yeah, you could read books on it. Photos, not going to bother. It's a photo viewer. Explorer, you can, yeah, file Explorer. Movies, not going to bother demonstrating it. It's movies. Music, not going to bother demonstrating it. It's music. Games. So I've got some emulators on here, and I've got some third-party homebrew games on it. I'm going to show off the emulators first. First, I'm going to boot up the Sega Genesis emulator. Let's see here, let's play, I couldn't get Sonic CD to work for the life of me. Sonic 2. I couldn't get Knuckles KX to work. Oh no, I did get Knuckles KX to work, but it plays at like 5 frames a second. They haven't officially supported overclocking for this yet, so for games that might need the extra overclock, it is just not there yet. I forgot which one I mapped to start. Oh, I mapped one to start, I think. There we go. The Sega Genesis emulator is fantastic. Runs at an even, smooth frame rate. It's fast, doesn't skip frames. The sound is excellent. I'm noticing the screen isn't cooperating with my camera too much. Sorry about that, but trust me, in real life, the screen looks fantastic. LCDs don't like other LCDs. Yeah, so Sega Genesis emulator runs great. So, with that, let's exit. I keep looking at the big fingerprint on the screen. Let's try the Super Nintendo emulator. Let's see. How about... Alright, that's one problem with this particular emulator. For the record, if I bash on any emulators or programs, I'm not bashing the people who made the Caanoo. It's not their fault. They didn't make it. So just want to throw that out there. Seems like when I press a direction once, it does it like a few times. Let's try Super Mario RPG. That should be interesting. Oh, there we go. This is an example of a game that needs an overclock. Or an updated emulator or something. Yeah, this game needs an overclock big time. How do I... Oh, that's right, this emulator's pretty beta, so if you want to reload the ROM, you have to reload the entire emulator. Let's try Mega Man X. Now the frame rate's starting to suffer a little bit. Overall, not too bad. I was after seeing Super Mario RPG, I was expecting it to be a little worse. Frame rate definitely could be better, but again, not as bad as I thought it would be. So, yeah, there's that. Let's try one more Super Nintendo game. Super Mario All-Stars. Oh, it sound skipped there. Play Super Mario World. Hold on a sec. That fingerprint's bugging the crap out of me. There we go. Much better. Autofocus. There we go. Now we're talking. Autofocused, fingerprint free. Super Mario World seems to be running at a very good frame rate. Controls are great. Joystick's actually working pretty good for a game that wasn't meant for a joystick. The sound's skipping a little bit. I'll turn up the volume. It just sounds like it's skipping some sound channels or something. I'm probably not even using the right terminology, so for the uptight people out there, I apologize. Music doesn't quite sound right. Yeah. So that's about it for the Super Nintendo emulator. Let's exit here. Game Boy emulator. Game Boy Advance to be exact. What game should we try? Sonic Advance 2. As you can hear, the sound is very incorrect. Some sound channels are missing. Yeah, some sound channels are just totally non-existent. I think I need to remap the buttons. The announcer guy's voice is missing. The ring noises and the spin dash sound effects are not there because those sound channels are missing. It's running at a decent frame rate. Actually, it's running at a very good frame rate. They just need to fix the sound issues. And then we'll be talking. Oh, I'll show off the volume glitch while I'm at it. Full volume. See what I mean? Takes a while to... Takes a while to fully catch up. Alright. So, yes, the Game Boy Advance emulator needs a fair bit of work. Games... NES emulator. Let's see. Let's play Battletoads. That'll really test it. This already doesn't sound good. Uh-oh. What's going on? I'm in the air! Somebody please explain to me! What is this? I don't understand the Battletoads that I am playing. Yeah, good luck getting to the warp zone. Yeah, okay, maybe Battletoads wasn't a good idea. How about Bubble Bobble? Very slow. Oh, the buttons aren't remappable in the NES emulator as of this video. Very disappointing. A and B are backwards. For someone who develops an emulator, you would think he would know that B comes before A on the controller. Ridiculous. Yeah, it's running pretty slow. Sounds a little off, probably just because it's going slow. Let's try one more. Let's try Mega Man 3. Whoa, what the hell is wrong with the menu? The face sprites are separated from the title cards. Yeah, this isn't quite correct. Wait, I'm confused. Isn't Top Man supposed to be up here? I don't know, we're gonna find out. Oh, no, I guess I was wrong. We'll do Needleman then. Oh, this is messed up, big time. Oh, the sound! Listen to his Mega Buster! Oh, jeez. This is not good. The NES emulator needs a lot of work. Let's try one more game. So let's try Mega Man 6. I want to hear how the Mega Buster sounds when you're trying to charge it. Oh man. Yeah, same sound issues. It just almost feels unplayable. Let's try Mario. Might as well. Mario 3. Yeah, it's running pretty slow. I blame the lag. And the backwards buttons. Oh! Backwards buttons! This is a new rule for anybody developing emulators for anything. Do not develop the emulator and assign buttons until you have studied the controller of the system you are trying to emulate. Make sure you have studied it every single night, 7 days a week for 3 months in a row before you develop the emulator. On a Nintendo controller, it's B and A, not A and B. Get it right, please, thank you. Ah. Look what the emulator does to the scoreboard. It just scrolls it up with weird, garbled crap. Ay. This emulator needs work, big time. Oh, there's no way to exit the emulator other than to restart the Wiz. That's fantastic. Alright, so that takes care of the emulators. Let's check out some homebrew games that I went and downloaded. Skull. This is apparently a platforming game, kind of like Mega Man, but it's Skull Man for some reason. And, yeah. What the hell? Okay, I do not remember it doing that last time. What the hell? What is going on? What happened? The game broke my Wiz! Or Caanoo, whatever it is. What did I do? Okay, go away. That's starting to scare me a little. Let's reboot it and try the other screen mode. Okay, let's try Skull again. Do not do full screen mode, do original mode. Original mode. There we go. Now it's right. Yeah, you have to use the touchscreen to select the story. I don't care what the mission is. Whoa. The problem is it runs too fast on the Caanoo. I remember this game being on the Wiz, but I think the person really just ported it. It needs to be like underclocked or something. It runs a little bit too fast. Other than that, it's actually a pretty decent platforming game. It's pretty fun. Controls are good. Feels like Mega Man. Level layout's fun and exciting. Yeah, just underclock it and we have a pretty good platforming game on our hands. Fire Whip. This is a Castlevania clone type of game, which has pretty good graphics. It's kind of fun, but it's got one huge major flaw. And it's in Spanish, but that's not the flaw I'm talking about. Alright, so turn that down a little bit. This is another example of a game that needs to be underclocked. Runs a little bit too fast. I don't think fire and jump should be that far apart from each other in the controller. Let me show you the major glitch. If you get hurt, your character disappears. Forever. Get off of there. Restart. What's next? Open Tyrian or Tyrian. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right. This is actually a port of a DOS game under the same name, minus the open part. And this is an example of a very good homebrew game. One Player Arcade, Episode 1, normal difficulty. I never played this game originally, so I'm not familiar with it personally, but this is a game where the joystick is a fantastic improvement over using a control pad. Joystick feels very natural for a shooting game like this. Very fun game if you've never played it before. Traditional shooter, you know, lots of stuff on the screen, lots of power-ups to get better guns. It does auto-fire, too. Very fun, enjoyable game, and it's kind of making me want to play the original. Okay, games. What's next? Snake on Dope. Blech, voice crack. This game is very unique. You can play regular Snake in classic mode, or you can play in dope mode, where every time you collect a power-up, the screen gets a little bit more wiggly and vomit-inducing. And, yeah. You can unlock other levels that have, you know, obstacles in the way. So you want to go for a high score in the level so that you can unlock more. And, it's actually kind of an enjoyable game. I'll show you what happens when it starts getting a little trippy. Okay, well, as you can see, it does get pretty trippy after a while. It could, if you get far enough in the game, it does make you pretty dizzy. Alright, let's exit. There's one more game. I say one more, even though there's two left, because I downloaded this one called Tong, which is supposed to be a combination of Tetris and Pong. And I can't get the game to start. Wait, what? Okay, I swear that did not work when I was trying this off camera the other day. I swear that that didn't work. How do you start, though? I don't want insane difficulty. What is going on? Back to rules menu. What? What is... Oh. What am I doing? I can't figure out how to... What? What's going on? Start? Oh, hitting start crashed it. Oh well, that's farther than I got before. This time I got in the difficulty menu. Alright. One more game. This is actually a very good game, Squares. It's an original platforming game. And, The idea is to just get to the end of the level, obvious platforming goal, and yeah, you have to get there at the same time collecting every single power-up in the level. Pretty addicting game. Classic or deluxe graphics. We'll go with deluxe, because deluxe. Yippee! The music is pretty unique. It's not bad. Oops, accidentally hit the pause button. I wish the camera would scroll farther ahead, but that's what it is. Oops, fell in the water. Yeah, not a bad platforming game though, it's actually very fun. But I think we need to wrap it up for the Caanoo. This video is getting very long. Turn that off. So how could we sum up the Caanoo? It's a good device. It's a good, solidly built device. Performs well. We need the option to overclock the processor, whether if it's in the emulators or the homebrew games or the firmware itself, somewhere in the settings maybe. They said that was coming in the firmware update that's on it now, yet I don't see it there at all. So I don't know what's up with that. It's just the software's not there yet. Again, I don't blame the people who made the Caanoo because almost none of the people who actually built the system make the software. There's separate developers, separate average Joes that make the software. So, you know, the blame's going to be put on them for the shoddy performance of most of the software on here. So it's a good device. I want to say I could recommend it, but I can't recommend it yet. The software's not there. Just wait, or get a Wiz first, or, better yet, if you already have a PSP, just Google PSP emulators. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Google PSP emulators. I'll leave that at that.